Welcome to Jumpstart Your Joy, a podcast that looks at the inspiration, intention, action, and choices that you can make to bring more joy into your life, into the world, and into other people's lives. This is your host, Paula Jenkins. Welcome to episode 229 and this week's 3 joyful things. I'm really excited that you are here and so delighted that you're tuning in to Jumpstart Your Joy. As you know, these shorter episodes on Thursday are the super secret place where I check in with you guys on the inspiration and aha moments that I've had over the last week. January has been all about planning your year and setting a foundation, which is also my word of the year. And so we've had some really great guests. If you want to go back and listen, you can check out Laura Lai, who is also behind the podcast Quietly Bohemian, Casey Jordan, who is behind Steadily She Grows podcast, Ezzie Spencer, author of Lunar Abundance, and Molly Larkin, the psychiatric nurse and life coach who works with people on intuitive eating. Those are all in the back catalog, and you can find them right now and tune in if you need to catch up. This week, we'll be looking at a really great set of questions that I have come across from one of my beloved clients that is going to give you guys a new lens at looking at how you can set your inspiration and intentions into action for this year from a really loving place. So I hope you guys are having a great week. If you're loving what you hear here on the podcast and you want to make sure you catch each of these Thursday episodes, for right now, they're super secret and not on the website yet. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed in one of 2 ways. The first one would be through the newsletter, which you can find at jumpstartyourjoy.com. And there's a link in the center of that homepage where you can sign up. Then you'll get each of these. Or the other way is sign up as a subscription to the podcast itself, which of course is always free. And you can find Jumpstart Your Joy on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts. Just hit the subscription button and these will get to your phone right when they come out. Some of the themes that I've seen coming through with each of these guests is a deep sense of introspection and getting to know themselves and trust in themselves in a deep way as they put their own voice out there into the world and as they explore what their zone of genius is and what it is that they are here to do. So in the example of Laura Lai, we know that she's really embraced being an introvert and putting her voice out there in the form of a podcast in a way that feels comfortable. And that means she's talking about Depeche Mode, a band that she loves. She's leaning on that, and it allows her to very authentically put her voice and her story out into the world. Casey Jordan has lived through a lot of change, and having experienced PTSD and an injury during the Iraq War, she has learned to lean into the places where she desires to make change and embrace those things. And it's a mindful choice for her to do this. I loved what Ezzie Spencer had to say about finding the natural rhythms. She looks towards the moon for this inspiration, and you can read about that in her book, Lunar Abundance. But she's taking the natural rhythm of things, of there being both being and doing phases, so times that we are productive and times that we rest. And she's leaning into that to create more of a foundation for her own life that allows her to be more fully present and to go after the things that she loves. And I love what this last week with Molly Larkin, she talks about how intuitive eating is really listening and getting to know your own body and its needs and looking for a place of nourishment from your food and enjoyment of your food and trusting that you're going to know what to do instead of relying on an external thing like a diet or a chart on a doctor's wall to tell you what your body size should be or what you should look like or how much you should eat in a day. And so the theme that I'm seeing through all of this, where it could be one where experts might say, just set up yourself for success in the new year. You really need to create a plan and list out your goals and then, strive towards them. The thing that I've seen come through in each of these episodes over this month is this deep-seated slowing down, this learning to trust yourself, and this learning to accept that you already know the answers. And that if we just kind of leave ourselves open to hear what the world and the universe and our lives are telling us, that the answers are already here. We don't have to look somewhere else to find out how we discover what the foundation for our year should be. We just need to listen a little more closely, trust a little bit more, and allow ourselves to rest and relax. And so in this spirit, the 3 things for this week come from a place of inspiration from one of my clients. Dr. Aimee Eyvazzadeh is also known far and wide as the Egg Whisperer, and you can find her podcast by the same name. I'll link up to it in the show notes. One of the things when she's working with fertility patients, which is her area of expertise and definitely her zone of genius, one of the things that she encourages them to think about as they look at fertility options for themselves is this set of questions. And they are, what is it that you want? Second question, what will it take to get it? And number 3, are you willing to do what it takes to get what you want? Now, I want to underscore this because it could sound like this is coming from a place of striving or achieving or just buckling down and doing what it takes. But I'm here to say that that is not the spirit with which I want you to ask these questions. I want to make sure that when we're thinking of these questions, we're really aligning it with joy and really aligning it with the heart-centered things that we want for our lives. Because there is the possibility that when we consider these things, it could come from a striving or an overachieving kind of place, and that's not the intent here at all. I want you to ask these questions of yourself, knowing your intention for this year, not the hustle, but the heartfelt thing that you feel calling your name to reach your goal. So what is it that you want? Sit with that question for a little bit. See what your answer is. What does it take to get that? Again, allowing yourself to trust that you already know some of this answer, or you've got a curiosity about something that will lead you to the next step to get to this answer. And then, as kind of that cornerstone to see if this is really something that's meant for you for this year, and if it's really something that you want to do, are you willing to do what it takes to get this thing? And I think it's a beautiful way to start and look at this foundation that you want to lay for this coming year and consider those things. If you aren't really willing to do what it takes, that's okay too. You can go on and ask the question again, what is it that I want? And what will it take? And you can reframe it for yourself if you find that maybe there's another way to get it. Another one of my mentors, Kate Swoboda, has said as well, if you really want it, you will find a way to get it. Again, not with the striving piece so much as it is, if this thing is really the heart-centered goal that you have for your life, you will also find a way that is heart-centered and loving and courageous to get it. And so you can choose to use Dr. Aimee's questions, or maybe you're inspired by Kate's quote, but that's the thing that I want to leave you with here in January as you look at finalizing whatever that foundation is that you want to set for your year. Lean in, let it be something that you can be inspired by, let it be, aspirational, but also build in the time of rest along with the time of doing as you look at this, just like Ezzie Spencer has talked about. So that's it. I would love to hear what you guys have thought about laying a foundation for your year. You can always email me at jumpstartyourjoy@gmail.com and I will respond. I love hearing from all of you. And I want to get you guys really excited about next month, which of course is February. And we're going to be looking at the joy of marketing, which maybe that doesn't sound like something so joyful to some people, but I swear we have some really fun guests lined up. We'll be talking to Susie Solaviv, and she'll be on to talk about your sacred record and how you can really talk about things in a voice that sounds authentic to you. Lisa Princhek will come on and talk about how you can create an entrepreneurship that feels like you and how you go through and pivot through change. And then Jinja Birkenbuhl of Burke Creative and the Honest Field Guide podcast will also be joining me to talk about how you can really lean into technology and digital offerings and rethink how you're thinking about what marketing needs to be to have an amazing output that will bring more people into your conversation. So I hope you guys will come on back next week as we jump right into marketing. And until then, I hope that your days are filled with so much joy.